Welcome to a video summary of the NVIDIA Shield TV 2017 edition. You can read the full review from a link in the description or by clicking in the card top right of the screen. This is the basic model and comes with 16GB of storage and retails for £189.99p, with the Pro model and its 500GB of storage coming in at £279.99. The new Shield TVs are really just a slight refresh to the series, with a lot of the changes actually under the hood. One obvious physical difference is that the unit is much smaller than the 2015 version, but the processing capabilities are on par, and the 2015 models are to be updated for feature parity. The unit features a power button on the front and an unusual panel design. The build quality doesn't feel as sturdy as the previous models, but the Shield TV runs cool and performs well. At the rear are all the physical connections, including two USB 3.0 ports and an HDMI 2.0B port that is HDCP 2.2 compliant. A gigabit LAN connection, there's also a micro USB port for the power supply, and the Shield TV features Wi-Fi capability up to 802.11ac and Bluetooth version 4. The newly designed games controller is a huge improvement on the old version in almost every conceivable way. For starters, it's about 20% smaller and therefore fits much better and more comfortably in an averagely sized hand. For reference, it's a tad larger than the standard Xbox One controller and similarly ergonomic in design. Don't let the panel design fool you, it's really very comfortable to handle. The remote hasn't undergone anything like the transformation and is visually at least virtually identical to the older handset, although the build quality isn't as impressive. It is a very sleek little number, however, with the directional buttons forming a halo around the OK select button towards the top. The home and back buttons sit just below, with the microphone activation just above centre. Volume is operated via a touch-sensitive slider, which runs down most of the bottom portion of the controller. NVIDIA has added a play-pause function to the volume slider by means of a double tap, for apps that don't do so by pressing the OK circle at the top. The lean-back launcher has now been trimmed down to just 4 rows with a recommendations bar at the top, a single row for apps, and the same for games, while settings can be accessed at the bottom. Better yet, the settings now pop up on a panel to the right, thus meaning the launcher, or at least its background, is always visible, whereas previously settings felt disconnected and tagged on. There is also now the option of double tapping the home button to bring up a tiled list of recent apps, and the option to close them down if necessary. Okay, most people aren't going to get overly excited by a UI redesign, but it all adds to the experience, and we're big fans. The games experience is also now more integrated with GeForce Now, Android and GameStream games all under the one roof. We gave GeForce a fairly intensive run out, and we had no issues streaming 1080p games at 60 frames per second over a wired network, and very few using an AC wireless connection. We're not sure if £7.49 is a particularly attractive price for the games on offer, but the performance is remarkable and certainly comparable to console quality. The Shield TV is compatible with 4K and HDR services from Netflix and Amazon, and if your internet isn't up to the challenge of streaming 4K, you can still play in HDR, if your TV supports it of course. Navigation around the apps is slick, and the same can be said for iPlayer, although it's a shame dynamic refresh rate switching only works for selected apps such as Kodi, SBMC and Plex, at present at least. Local media performance for those 3 apps was very good in fact, with Ultra HD up to 60 frames per second and HD audio pass-through fully supported. We did have an issue with the Plex server losing connection however, so that's something that needs to be addressed. The NVIDIA Shield Android TV is about as complete an all-in-one device as we could hope for. It features a great selection of apps, superior hardware, playback of challenging media types, and an excellent gaming experience. It's a best-in-class, and therefore a winner of a rare AV Forums Reference Status Award. Thanks for watching.